So in the video before this, you should see me reminding you of a video where I did a phone interview with someone who's known me for 14 years, arguably the person who's known me the best in the last 14 years. Upcoming, I have an interview with one woman and who's been talking to me fairly consistently for the last year or so. And also I have this should really put the nail in the coffin with my case especially, and with psychiatry overall. You're about to hear a clip from Paul M. Muckley's channel, The Reawakening of Kemet and the Fall of Christianity and All Other Religions. Needless to say, I don't agree with the title, and I'm not cool with the title. I don't agree with everything in this video. But there's some good stuff in this I'm going to get into, including an article by Dr. Kwame Nantumbu, who was a professor of emeritus at Kent University, I believe. Or is it professor in emeritus? Well, whatever it is. So first let me play this clip. It's about this female who works in this government building who goes onto the microphone and says how Freemasonry serves two gods and something about the Constitution. And everything she says is perfectly sane, but then they take her for psychiatric evaluation, involuntary. And remember, you have to be a threat to yourself or society. So it shows you how you can say something that's not even a threat, and because of the way you're acting and your refusal to take medication, in this case, just the way she's acting, then they have to take you to get evaluated. It's so stupid. And she's right to do it. It's a very political thing she did, not a psychiatric thing. Watch.
Or hidden motives. For one woman, a house stenographer, that stress may have been too much. That's her in the highlighted circle as she marches to the podium. What happens after that is truly sad and bizarre.
Constitution was not written by Freemasons. They go against God. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
Lawmakers who witnessed the apparent unraveling of their colleague were shaken and baffled.
I don't know what she's talking about. I was there when I saw it. First of all, I started screaming. I thought it was somebody telling us we had 2 minutes to vote or a minute to vote. I thought it was some official person. And that's how she got there. The sergeant at arms didn't try to stop her.
Because she works there.
Because she works there, and that's where she's situated. And she actually went up behind the podium where the president speaks from. They thought she was going to hand something to the speaker. And then they realized, and she caught her up. But all of this happened in about 10 seconds. And but I was talking to people afterwards who worked with her, said she was a perfectly normal, rational person, but she seemed to just lose it.
Capitol Police tell us they were able to talk to the woman before she was taken to a local hospital for evaluation.
So she's taken to a local hospital for evaluation. Obviously, it was a psychiatric evaluation. I don't think I have to explain why they took that route. Okay, and notice how they said she's perfectly normal, rational person. Okay, and what she did wasn't evidence of a mental illness, which they don't really define correctly anyway, which they don't understand correctly anyway. Blatant, disrespect for protesters, political dissidents. What she did was an act of political dissent, and she was taken to the psych ward for it. And I'm sure that after she did it, she probably agreed to go to the psych ward because she was so embarrassed and she was thinking about her job. Something she wanted to do, and she realized the only way she could get away with it if she plays the old psych ward game. So, as you can see, you can imagine from the way I make my videos that I say things just like that, and worse, more angry, more passionate, all the time. I don't say I'm on the podium where the president speaks from, and I get taken to the psych ward. So, are people crazy who go to the psych ward? Or is it typical of political dissidents to be upset and passionate when they make a political statement? So, also I'd like to bring up the numerology. People talk about Illuminati numerology, which is a fair way to put it, but really it's Masonic numerology. Anyone knows anything about secret societies and Masonry is all secret societies are either part of Masonry or they get their foundation of their beliefs from Freemasonry, which in turn gets it from ancient Egypt. Okay, these people don't go and dig into ancient Egyptian texts themselves. They get the idea from Masonry before they do any of that research. They look at what Masons have to say, then they say, I'm gonna make my own secret society, like Aleister Crowley and all them. But anyway, so number 7 means completion. Number 13, according to America's 4th of July and Ancient Egypt from Narmer to Obama by Dr. Kwame Nantumbu, ironically in June 6, 2009, a few months before I started my Illuminati series and videos on YouTube. So anyway, 7 is completion, 13 is transformation, resurrection, new life, and rebirth. So you can see how, you get the 13 bloodlines. They're the resurrection of the old. They're the parents living on through the children, if you will, the rebirth, the new life, 13 bloodlines, the new generation, the new world orders, if you will. 7 plus 6 is 13, obviously. 1776 is how it's explained in this article. June 21st to July 4th, 13 days, summer solstice, ancient Egypt. Again, all this information is from this article, not from me, not from any other source. 13 layers of the pyramid on the dollar bill. The red crowns, red, white, and blue. Red crown of the south in Egypt, white crown of the north, and the blue crown of war that symbolizes the Masonic system. So what you have here really is black people are being sold. This whole thing, the title of it, the Rastafarian, a lot of Rastafari people, for whatever reason, they take from Christianity, as we all know, but a lot of them, from what I've seen, is they're using the ancient mysteries as part of the religion they're teaching. And I don't truly understand, Rastafari in great detail. I don't truly understand the different factions or who's doing what, but what I have noticed is that a lot of these people have talked about these ancient mysteries as if they're the truth and as if Christianity's a lie. They say that Jesus' virgin birth is more of, comes from the constellation Virgo, and, and it's more of something to do with mythology instead of an actual virgin birth. They have a lot of, everything to them goes back to Egypt. They say the pyramid on the dollar bill is not evil. They say the Masons are not evil, that they're trying to warn us to stay away from religion. And there's some things that they didn't say, that I know to be true. It's funny what they left out. They brought up it's the Eye of Horus. Yes, the Eye of Horus, or the Eye of Ra, or the Eye of Ra Horiketi. Okay, Horus and Ra in one. Here's like you had Amen and Ra in one. You also had the female aspect of Re or Ra, which was part of what the eye is symbolizing. And so he says it's the sun and the moon together. It's the left eye, I believe it was saying, the left eye is the moon, the right eye is the sun. I've covered this before. And he's saying something that I don't necessarily agree with, is that the sun is behind the moon, and that they're together, on the dollar bill. And that the eye is the moon, and then the sun's behind it, and they're together. And what he's not really touching on, for whatever reason, is that there's a female and male aspect of it, okay? And what you have here is, the Masonic foundation of feminism. You have, the misinterpretation of the Egyptian mysteries. Because one thing that they don't truly grasp when we're talking about women and men and equality, women and men are not equal in Egyptian mythology. Masonry twists it and makes it equal, just like they twisted it and tried to say that whites, the ancient Egyptians, were white, so that all these white secret societies could swallow it better. All the white people they're recruiting could swallow it better. But really, the white person's understanding of Egyptian mythology comes from Plato, comes from the Ptolemies, okay? Comes from Aristotle. This is where it ends. These Greeks in ancient Egypt were their understanding. The British, when they were in ancient Egypt, is where their understanding comes from. Not the ancient black Egyptians who came up with this stuff. And again, I say that it's sad that this all appeals to black people the most, because the ancient Egyptians were black, and it's in Africa. So it's, when they're coming out with all this stuff, and they're incrementally bringing you toward Masonry, okay? They're trying to sell you the Masonic religion, okay? Then they're trying to make it clear that the Masons know the most about these religions, so they can make you want to be a Mason, increasing their leadership. And ultimately, where they're going with this is a world full of Masons and nobody else, okay? And so they have more control over them, over people in society. I'm out of time. Thank you.